Thank you. Good afternoon, welcome to the Shea. Wild and windy this afternoon as spring conditions return for this match between Halifax and the York City Knights. The first league encounter between these two teams in 16 years. York visited here, of course, 2005 in the National League playoffs and came up with a surprise win, only to go on 2 weeks later and lose in somewhat controversial circumstances at Widnes, certainly as far as Alan Hadcroft's try was concerned. That ensured Halifax stayed in the National League One. York had another season, last season in League Two, and were promoted. But they're still looking for the first win so far this season. Having said that, they've been pitted against Widnes and Hull Kingston Rovers in the first two games. Two of the teams expected to be in the mix at the end of the season. Halifax will be hoping to be there as well after their first victory of the season at Batley on Friday evening. And they'll be looking to back that up with another victory this afternoon against the York Knights team that did push Widnes all the way, only losing 25 points to 18 at the Halton Stadium. But a real hammering on Friday against, I suppose, the local rivals really to York, Hull Kingston Rovers. And Halifax taking the ball back for the first time, doing a good containment job on York, forcing them to kick deep on the last tackle. They've not even reached the 40. And Andy Hobson being caught with a swinging arm there by David Buckley. Halifax running the ball on the power play, and it looks as though Lee Patterson took a knock there. It's gone back to the defensive line. Halifax have run this side of the field. Penny looking to turn it back inside, escaping the first tackle, and Halifax will get a second penalty from the whistle of Peter Taberner, this afternoon's referee. Hoyle takes it quickly, feeds Damien Ball. Hobson charges the ball into three, brought down 3 metres away from the York line. Jason Bolts running into the same defensive wall that's just done the work on Andy Hobson. Lawford to Penny. Halifax moving the ball out wide again, too wide as it goes behind Kirk and Haley, and into touch, and the first scrum will form. Patterson receives attention, and a quick run through the York City Knights team. Lee Lingard at fullback, Peter Fox, Rob Spicer, Neil Law and Craig Farrell. So Mick Cook keeping faith with a 3/4 line for the second match running. Paul Thorman and Phil Hasty are the half backs. Dino O'Loughlin, James Elson and David Bates, former Halifax player, in the front row. David Buckley, Jason Golden and the aforementioned Lee Patterson is the loose forward. Dean Ripley, John Liddell, John Smith and James Ward are on the bench for the York City Knights as they try to move the ball across. Halifax defence are being pulled a long way across. That's Dino O'Loughlin, who's wearing 18 as opposed to 8, although he's down on the team sheet as number 8. Hasty, live wire scrum half, formerly with Hull Kingston Rovers. Had a spell at Hunslet. Last tackle signalled by the referee. The ball goes back across to Paul Thorman, one of 3 rugby league playing brothers, of course, from the northeast. Neil has gone back to Gateshead. Chris Thorman at Huddersfield. And Halifax get the ball after the knock on. The chase was won by York, but it was knocked forward. It was blowing away from the chasers as the wind blows right to left, and a fairly strong breeze and all this afternoon into the face of the Halifax players as Holstock's tackled on the 40 metre line. Hobson, 3 men wait for him 2 metres from a halfway. Hoyle to Penny, brings Haaland back on the inside. The only change from Friday night, Haaland getting a start-up place as Holstock gets it away to Blackwood on that far side. Blackwood looks for the pass, just couldn't get the ball away. There was a defender cutting down that option, and the kick across. Haley puts it back down to Kirk to Penny, Penny to Damien Ball against his former club, slips the ball out the back, and it will be turned over. And our Halifax team, just as it changed between Haaland and Heckenberg from Friday night. Brad Atwood at full back, James Haley, Andy Kirk, Anthony Blackwood and Damien Gibson the 3/4. Dean Lawford partners Joel Penny, no Dominic Brambane. For half back, Andy Hobson, Simeon Hoyle, Jason Boltsdale, Holstock, Lee Haaland and Damien Ball are the forwards. On the bench, Keith Heckenberg, John Simpson, Adam Hayes and Byron Smith, and an interception as Blackwood gets the ball away, but the fingertips as a knock on, and that was another surge of pressure that put the Knights on alert. Unfortunately for them, Halifax knocked on. That's 2 mistakes almost on the try line, and Kirk coming across making the tackle. Patterson seems to have recovered from that early injury scare. David Bates needs wrapping up. He's more than capable of slipping the ball out in the tackle. Very experienced prop. Atwood back for the kick this time underneath it, the wind carrying it away from him as he went across. Gibson from acting half, back to Atwood, who'll make another 10 metres for Halifax away from their own try line. Penny, Halifax have numbers on this side. Haaland steps inside too, looks for the option of the pass, and eventually there's sufficient numbers to make sure Haaland goes down without releasing the ball. Damien Ball brings Kirk back on the inside, and Kirk is brought down on the 40 metre line. Penny to Jason Bolt, strong line back on the inside. Last tackle, Halifax still over 30 metres away from that York line, so Penny will dab it over the top, but that's easy for Lingard, the full back. And Lawford, the chaser, that makes the tackle. Peter Fox in off the wing, helping out the York forwards. Looking out wide again, Buckley turning up in the centre as O'Loughlin, Neil Law outside him. Bates there unloading the ball, but his teammate taking his eye off the ball and getting clattered. It was Thorman as Blackwood finds himself in no man's land with no support, nobody to pass to. He takes a 2-man tackle just short of halfway. Jason Bolts makes 12 off a strong run back towards the Keithley line. Hobson comes off the inside ball, and Simeon Hoyle just got to the touch, and it's come off a York player, so that will be, or would have been, back to 1. But Halifax having trouble picking up the possession, making a couple of mistakes already. The wind won't help, but frustration once again for Anthony Farrell as Halifax make the build-up's good, the execution not so. Kirk steps away from one, steps inside another, and Andy Kirk will score Halifax's first try. Well, they've been down there quite a long time of Halifax. York struggling to get out of their own half, and finally the pressure tells, and Halifax keep hold of the ball long enough for Andy Kirk to go over for his 4th try of the season, the first of the afternoon, and it's Halifax 4, York City Knights 0.
The first try there for Andy Kirk, number 3, sponsored by Steve Surety.
And Dean Lawford will not have the easiest kick against the wind, although at ground level the flags don't look to be moving.